Video shows the squalor faced by about 600 men at the immigration camp formerly run by Australia. It's being dismantled by Papua New Guinea's government. Water, electricity, and other basic services have been cut off, but the remaining refugees have refused to relocate. They say they fear they will be attacked by locals.
This is toilet and showers in Foxtrot compound. As you see, there is no water, the shower is not working. The hand wash, as you see, this is a very filthy place. They put these things around this in about 2 years. We hadn't had these irons in here. It was all wood, and there was a lot of cockroaches moving around everywhere. As you see, this tap is also not working.
And the UN Refugee Agency has weighed in from Geneva, calling on both Australia and Papua New Guinea to solve the crisis peacefully.
We have been visiting, as you know, Manus Island several times over the last couple of years. We have reported on the very dire conditions in these centers. It's now really high time to bring an end to this unconscionable human suffering.
For more on this, journalist Oliver Whitfield-Miocic joins us now live from Sydney. And Oliver, what is the latest on the situation from the island?
Well, we really are entering into the final few hours before a deadline is reached that was given by the Papua New Guinea government on Thursday. They said that the men who are remaining at the detention centre would have to leave by Saturday, or else they would be forcibly removed to be resettled in another centre that has been paid for by the Australian government. Now, we understand over the past 2 days that at least 130 men have taken the PNG government up on that offer and have moved of their own accord. But that means that there's 470 men who are still living inside the detention centre. They say they are unwilling to move out because they're afraid of what may happen to them. There has in the past been a number of beatings. Indeed, a number of refugees have died in this detention centre. At the same time, a human rights group called Get Up has managed to smuggle out some footage of the squalid conditions inside the detention centre. It shows toilets that are overflowing, men who are sleeping, many to a bunk bed inside cramped rooms, food sanitation areas that are very unsanitary to say the least, no running water, no electricity. It's forced the men to build their own wells to get drinking water and to capture rainwater in bins. But one of the detention centre's inmates who's on the island said online that the Papua New Guinea security forces had forced them to tip away all of the water in an effort to make life as uncomfortable as possible to get them to move to this new centre.
And we're looking at pictures from the detention center as you're talking to us. They're shocking. What kind of reaction is coming from Australia about all this?
It all started kicking off on Thursday here in Sydney. Behind me at the iconic Sydney Opera House, 5 people were charged with trespass for scaling the sails of that building and trying to unfurl a huge banner telling the Australian government that these men should be brought here to Australia. Ultimately, they failed in that, but that has spurred on another set of protests on Friday here in Sydney. A government fundraising event for the Liberal Party was hijacked by a number of protesters who surrounded the event. They ripped the jacket of one of the attendees and things got a bit violent. And in Melbourne, thousands of people took to the streets there, also demanding that the Australian government allows the men to be resettled here in Australia. But that looks like an increasingly unlikely scenario. The Australian government has got a number of crises on its hands here in Australia. Least of all is the dual citizenship scandal affecting MPs who have been booted out of both the Senate and of Parliament. The issue of resettling refugees here would be a political hot potato that is unlikely to be touched right now by the Turnbull government.